Oh, where's my bourbon? Oh, it's right here. Good. Yeah, I go with Jim Beam here in Taipei. The weather's fine. A little bit, getting a little bit hazy right now. Maybe there's going to be some rain this afternoon. I don't know. But it is 3:48 p.m. on Wednesday, February 24th, 2021. Looking around, I'm looking at all these weird things that I find. And I thought, hey, let's do it on YouTube, live. So if you didn't know it, that's Lesotho. And there's Eswatini is about here. I gotta turn on, actually to see Eswatini, I gotta turn on the layers, the borders. Here we go. So Eswatini is there. Now you can see a little bit of this whiteness spills out of Lesotho, but the rest of it all is contained. And it's just interesting to me, whatever it is that created this whiteness here. I don't know, is this because there's no water? I'm trying to convince people that I'm not sitting here saying that these are Anunnaki gold mines. I'm asking questions. Are these Anunnaki gold mines? I'm putting forth the theory that was put forth 6,000 years ago. I'm trying to figure it out. And I definitely want to actually study cuneiform. Believe it or not, you might think that that's a little bit too far out, but I already speak 2 languages in addition to English. Might as well just keep going. I worked today. I taught for 4 hours. Let me turn the music back on. Whoa! Yeah, because I had some work. So let me find out where I am with people watching. I think I have, it says 1 viewer, but that's probably me. Seems like I always have at least 1 viewer. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to kind of zoom in slowly. And we're not going to be looking at Lesotho, but since we're talking about it, let's just go with the things we can see. Like, what's this? Right? Now, we have a lot of plateaus. Look at these plateaus. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's plateaus everywhere in this neighborhood. But a lot of them, when you look at them, and where's that one that we just saw? This one here, you get these weird straight lines on top of them with these weird, like it was a road or something. And I mean, if that's true, that was made after the mountain and then it's worn away, that must be old too. And in the history of the world, every year, we can very quickly let it start. This is by Ollie Bai. And it shows the mainstream history of the world. So I'm just going to get it started and get it to the point where it shows what was going on in this neighborhood about 100,000 years ago. And I probably should do a little more things here. Now, even 200,000 years ago in Africa, we so-called had this Homo sapiens here. Now, I don't believe in mainstream history. When you say 200,000 years ago, we already had humans found in, was it the Philippines or was it Indonesia? I think it was the Philippines. And one of the islands out there, 300,000 years old. And then in Morocco, 350,000 years old. I'm not sure about the numbers. But humans have been around for a while, and especially in Africa. Definitely provable, no secret there. But did it start here and then expand? That is questionable at this point. I mean, this is the out of Africa theory, and we're going to see it in action right here. There you go. Still in Africa, still in Africa, still in Africa. Oh, just left Africa. We're out of Africa about 175,000 years ago, according to mainstream history. Humans leave Africa. Okay, so there you go. 175,000 years ago, out of Africa theory. But I'm not looking for the out of Africa theory. I'm looking for the in Africa theory. So we'll let that ride for a moment. It's pretty late, so I guess I'm not going to have many viewers at this time. Now, when I get to 70,000 years BCE, that's when the Sangoan culture pops up in the middle of Africa. 73, 72, 70,000. Sangoan culture develops. Sangoan culture develops. So that's an advanced culture. That's the very first. Now, I know that it's hard to see on this map, but when you see that you have three little colors, one is Homo sapiens, one is advanced culture, and one is embryonic civilization. What we see is this color that's graying most of part of Africa and then part of the Arabian Peninsula. That is it, just Homo sapiens. I know it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. But that's just Homo sapiens. And then the advanced culture says Sangoan. And then I believe embryonic civilization, which has yet to show up on the map, is here. It's this color. Not this. This color is actually advanced culture. Sangoan culture develops. And for 70,000 years. Now, it's really, really far south. I mean, when you look at it, it's just north of where we're looking at on the map. Let me just make sure everything's turned off. I don't want to start getting surprise messages. And now we'll look at the other map. Where does it go? Here. Okay, so I'm just like looking at stuff like that. It's just like, what's going on? That's just inside Lesotho. But when you look at this, here's the notch. Here's the notch right here. So the notch is at the top end of Eswatini. And this is where we find these gold mines that he's talking about. Well, I haven't seen many. Kind of want to see some. I've been looking and looking for some of these gold mines, but maybe I'm not going to look in the right spot. So those things I can't find, but what I can find is these gigantic... Let's take a look here. Hey! Way deep inside. Thank you for joining. I can't find these crazy, crazy plateaus. So, I mean, you can zoom into almost any one of them. Here in South Africa, outside of Lesotho, you can find all sorts of weird plateaus. Let's go to this one. Now, immediately do I see my signs of unnatural, deliberate construction technique. Now, I say no. So far, this could be natural. I look at this line and I question it right away. That kind of looks like one of my questionable lines, but that looks natural. So I'm going to say, so far, nothing. Oh, wait, what's this up here? This mountain, I question that because it has this ridge. It has this open ridge that I see so again and again. And they look like they're done in segments, like some kind of a weird machine just plopped them down in a line and then went up to some mountain. And why do they do it in water? I don't know. Now, I'm not going to say that's not natural at this point. I'm really cannot look at everything and call. But when I see this flat area on the top, I do question that. But like the other day, I was looking at one, and I can show you again where it was just a straight line. And here, looking over here, I see this line here, and I question that. But you know what? It's almost like if that's the only example, no. But here's my problem. I go back to Lesotho to show you. We can zoom in again and again. Every tiny plateau you go to has these weird lines that cut through the stone. And when I say weird, I mean straight. Unnatural looking, and some of them are 90 degrees. Look at this one. I mean, it's just this long line going through at this angle, and you can see these weird cut-throughs. I mean, is that natural? I say that doesn't look natural to me. Now, if I saw it just once, okay, fine. But when I see it again and again, definitely not natural. Now, here's a part two of everything I say. I'm not saying this was done for sure by the Anunnaki gold miners. No. Do I say that in a question? Sure. Was this the gold mines of the Anunnaki? But when I see these lines, and this now I can say for sure, this 90-degree angle right there, perfectly 90 degrees, with this little shortcut that somebody pulled. And both of them, they do look like paths. but they don't look like paths for humans. And so, were they done by giants? Well, there were giants in the Bible, so maybe they were giants. Or were they done by Anunnaki gold miners? I don't know that either, but I have a question and I'm asking it. Who did it? Look at this. Look how beautiful that is. That's crafted. That wasn't done by natural erosion right there. That's crafted beautifully. It's got a beautiful little mountain cap. These little pinnacles I call them nubs. They pop up quite a bit alongside these weird lines. You're not going to tell me that's natural. I'm seeing things. It's an illusion. I'll tell you what I see is this weird cliff-like corrosive thing that I see again and again and again. And it's happening twice here. Once here and once over here. Except this one seems like it got a little bit redeveloped by the landowners, or maybe not as much. It's not like I'm saying everything's perfect. I'm questioning these things. I see this plateau, and I say, that must be a little bit different from what's going on over here, which it looks like soft land, not really a hard plateau from a previous mountain. But then I still see these lines, and yeah, some of them can be done by men, but not the one that I saw where it was going across. I can find it again. I can go find it and I'll show you. But I certainly think that was a man-made structure. Now these are different. These are not little mountains. These are like roads that cut through the mountain. So you have two things. One is like this little Spinal Mountain, and the other thing is these roads that cut through the mountain. They seem to be connected. That's inside Lesotho. There's more. I have plenty more. You can find them so easily. Now this was my thumbnail. I thought it just looks like a baby or a witch or something. I don't see much unnatural stuff here. It looks pretty natural to me. So I'm not one of these folk who, that line there, I question. But it could have been done easily after the plateau had been created. But some of these plateaus, I don't know. Look at this one. You got that same line. I call that the guttural line because it creates a gutter. But going back outside of Lesotho, let's look at some new stuff. Okay, I don't want to go over the old stuff. I want to search for new stuff. Now, there's still some stuff that I've already seen, and it's really close. It's right outside, so... I mean, when you look at this, you can see these weird lines. Now, this one definitely, something's up here. You've got this weird point, this triangle, and it looks like it's almost got a line there, but not quite. And again, you've got this crevice, they carved in there, and they got the minerals out of there. It's like a mining operation. I mean, it just decayed naturally. Look, you've got this straight line right on the top. Like they scored it. Like they scored parcels of land. Yeah, of course it's interesting. Yeah, it's Lesotho. I've been doing a lot of videos on this. But look at this one right here. Are you telling me that's natural right there? I mean, I say no. I say that's definitely deliberate. That line that seemed to score where they were going to mine. And so this is one side, and for some reason they didn't catch the whole thing. I don't know. It's very crazy, but I think it's a sign of some type of an ancient mining operation. And they're so easy to find. You can find them for yourself. I'm going to zoom out to answer your question there, Dr. Plateaus. Thank you for joining me. If you go into Africa... Now, by the way, I'm definitely still a believer that this was Plato's so-called concentric circles. So don't think that I'm forgetting all that. But I think that before Atlantis existed, something was going on here. And I'm looking at this area. You can see these plateaus from a distance. When you zoom in, you can start to see them. And some of them are pretty crazy, and they don't look natural at all. And there's no explaining it. And yeah, it's true. I'm not able to prove anything. I showed that one already. Going up, I kind of am looking for that one that I just left. I mean, these lines, okay, so this is another example of a straight line that's going across natural lines. And you're going to tell me that the same, by the way, these are all about 30 meters across. This one's 60. Whoops. And this line happens to go this whole distance and go up here. What created that line? And then here's another one. No, that's... Okay, now I'm not going to get all crazy. Those could be fence lines. I'm not going to say that everything's ancient structures. But when we look at this area... Okay, I mean, it doesn't take long before you stumble... Now that's a fence line. That is not an ancient structure. So far, I'm not getting one here. In fact, I'm kind of worried that this might be a short video because I might not find anything. We want to make sure to stay outside of Lesotho. It seems like it's right along the edge of Lesotho, most of it. Let's go along the edge really quick. There was that one thing that I just showed you. I'm kind of looking for it again. What took these plateaus away? I mean, we're talking about... These plateaus are old. I mean, I'm not saying they are. Okay, here we are. And we can see very similar weird triangular mountainous structures. I mean, if this really was, as I'm wondering, this was a lot of work. This was... Let's take a look at the size of this. Where is it? Let's just go from here to here. And then kind of catch this whole area. It's so far 6 kilometers. So... the perimeter of about 12 kilometers right there. All that land being moved by, I'm not saying humans, but I'm not saying humans. Maybe an ancient culture did some work. Maybe they complemented something. Maybe it was humans. Maybe it was some humans in the last few thousand years. But all I know is that the local culture now, they don't have any recollection of this type of work. And it's so colossal and so big. You see these lines going everywhere. This is a video about just looking for new stuff. And I do want to zoom out every now and again to make sure I know where I'm at. I'm always looking for 90-degree angles. Or let me just give you one video that is important to me. Not the video, the photo. Just so I can have it on here. So are there any prehistoric constructions in this general area? I know very little about the ancient people of this area. Well, let me just say that there's talk about Anunnaki gold mining going on in Central Africa. Now, this is my Ancient Insight page. And I put a lot of videos and pictures here. I'm just going to go find the one. See, there's that one structure I just showed you. So there's the link. So you don't have to, just go to Ancient Insight in Facebook page. Search at Ancient Insight. And going down, we have, I'm going to find one specific picture that I want to show you. In fact, I'll just click on it and open it up. There's a lot of stuff here I'd like to stop and talk about, but I want to stay focused. It's actually farther down than I remember. There's another structure I'd like to show you. You know, these things are all... There it is, right there. There's one. I actually want to click the link and open it up in a new tab for Google Earth. Dr. Plechter, where are you from? And what ancient people do you know about? So you see this? So, I mean... It's another question of which came first. We've got a bay. Now, honestly, when you see this type of activity, the ground is the same distance as the areas near the cliffs. So this is going to be similar height and to what this should have been. Yeah, is it filled up? It looks like it's filled up a little bit. The thing is, there's 3 of these. 1, 2, and the other one is up here. Number 3, blocked off little, call it a bay. It's a shoreline, maybe. Is it a dam? It acts like a dam. But what is it really doing? It's connected. It's connected together here to here to here. Okay, now that mountain is only 20 feet high. It's not that big of a deal. Humans could have built it. But the thing is that this mountain has the attributes of the matching mountains that I'm about to show you. I call that the Spinal Mountain because it's got a really prominent middle spine going down the middle. And I believe that was made, look at this, that was made by some kind of a machine. That's just not some natural pop-up structure right there. It's a line that goes on in one direction for a long time. Here's another one. So this is inside, oh no, this is outside of Lesotho as well. So it's actually what I call the evidence that we're talking about. Look at this. I mean, you've got a straight line this way, you've got a straight line that way, you've got another straight line here that's really tiny. Maybe that's a fence line. But this is not fence line. That's a mountain with a ridge that happens to actually have a straight line that goes over and matches this ridge over here. Now, in my mind, this is not natural. And it doesn't take a geology degree to question this. It takes a geology degree to explain it. Oh, well, I guess it's nice to meet you. I'm also Scandinavian. My father was born in Copenhagen. Yeah, of course, that's how I got here, by exploring Google Earth, and I got caught up meeting a few people who introduced me to stuff like this. And that's why it takes group think to get this stuff out in the open. Now, I didn't want to just focus on that, but here, to me, I think this is the, what is it? What did I call it? The evidence. I mean, it's a mountain, and hey, like I said, it could have been built by men. This one too. But it's got the same attributes as these larger ones that we see all over this place. And some of them are 30, 40, 50 feet high. Maybe it wasn't made by machines. Maybe it was made by men. But I kind of highly doubt that when you look at the size. Look at this line here. This line goes across from here to here. And when you zoom in, you can see this. It's got some type of a connection towards the whole mountain. This ripple, they actually have geographic words explaining them, but now I honestly don't know if I trust those geographic words. Actually, not here, but up in the area. Like in the Arctic, near Alaska. I mean, here's another example. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? You see this curve. This is clearly what I call an embankment or escarpment created by some water flood activity. But then you've got this line here that interrupts that. So I think that we know now that these so-called Spinal Mountain creations were created after this event here. This is very smooth. And why it goes on top of these mountains like this, I don't know. And why it creates this guttural gap, I don't know. Well, I see your comment, and I do agree that the Mauritania sites are incredible. And, you know, in addition to just those sites, I think that the entire planet's incredible. Everywhere I look, I'm seeing incredible shapes, and I do think most of it's natural. I don't believe it's all handcrafted. You see this line, though? It keeps going. You know, we start back here. You see this line here. It keeps going. It keeps going. You still see it right here. And you're going to tell me, oh, that's just some random mountain. No, it's got what I described as this guttural decay. It's some type of an ancient road. And, you know, that's not a great example. Look at here. Look at here. What's this? Is that just a fence, or is that some type of an ancient line? I think that's more than just a fence right there. And the way that it cuts through, and you see these... This is like backwards to what I usually see. So, who knows? Maybe that's just a fence right there. That's not so prominent. It looks good. I see these other things going on over here. Yeah, maybe that's just a fence. Maybe. But it just is a little bit so prominent, and you can see it into the dirt. It's just this ridge. I feel like maybe somebody laid that down. Totally natural. Here's a good example of a man-made mountain right there. For sure, man made that. And we used our bulldozers, and that's a good example. Now, how big is this? And how far can you do that? You can do that pretty far. That's about 1/10 of a kilometer. It's a bridge. It really is a bridge, even though we don't have a river running underneath it. That's technically a bridge. Let me back out and let's see if we can find some more interesting things. Again, I see this line here, so I go north from that. That fence line is that's a man-made fence line. So just because you see a prominent green line doesn't mean it's what I'm looking for here. What I'm looking for is 90-degree crevices in the mountains. There's an interesting thing, but again, not prominent enough to prove anything. I think we got to go over by Lesotho to find it. There's one right here. Look at that. That stuff. That's definitely my Spinal Mountain, and it's going towards this and then ending. It looks like it's going to meet right here like a triangle. And there's more. It keeps going across this little lake. The lake's strong. You've got the same line. The trees, that's like a Spinal Mountain that I mentioned. You see them all over. This is back inside Lesotho, but you can see the line go through here. Hey, if it's going through the mountain, it could be natural, but why is it 90 degrees? Why is it across dams like it's man-made? Even though it's so old. Must be old, right? And by the way, it could be old even if it is man-made. Look at the history of the world. 70,000 years ago, we had a civilization there. Okay, where was I? I was just going along the border of Lesotho. I see these structures from so high, and when I zoom in, now to me, I already said this one looks natural. I mean, I do kind of see my line there, but it does look natural enough. I questioned that already. I don't want to go back. So we were going up. We can always go back over. Where is Lesotho anyways? That's way over there. So I kind of question these areas here. And so far, I mean, there's one right there for sure. It goes across this. It goes across. I mean, what happened first? One would think that the plateau happened first. But if this line, this, what you call that, a grain going through this ancient rock, it gets a little too convenient over here. Look how it's ingrained into the road, into this stone there. Like it's a little gully. It's like a little gully full of trees. And that little gully is going this way. And that line, you can see it going through here. It even cuts through this rock right there. You can see the residual rock on both sides. And then here's another one. So were these like ancient tractors? There's another, like I said, these lines existing at the top of these plateaus. And then you've got the so-called carve out. Was that where they were getting their minerals from? Well, big news is I got a sub again tonight. So I'm going to get out of here. Look at this one. This is that one I was showing you before. Right? Yeah, that's it. Just totally questionable. Why do we have a perfect triangle in there? And it's going down and it actually follows the mountain ridge. Or was that the ridge decayed more against the line, even though the plateau is older? How is it that you have these three residual ridges all connected by this one line. This one doesn't really show it on there, but you can see it following along the side there. Triangle mountains. Perfectly natural. Sorry, I had to have a drink. Here's another one. It's got the high ridges with the weird guttural roads making straight lines across natural mountains. And then leaving this, what is that? It's more than just an escarpment. It's like a huge, like a dig out. I'm going to call it a dugout. And that's an alien landing pod. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not into the whole aliens did it thing. But I have to say, some of these lines, look at this one. Look at that. It's like they scored it for work. Like anything inside this line can go. And it's like they did it very sloppily. That line is cut into the dirt, into the rock there. And that's natural? I don't think so. Is this line natural? Yeah. This line, okay. I mean, I don't know what caused that. It looks natural. It's these cliffs. But then you get these adjacent and adorning straight lines. Look at this one. It's like they wanted that shape on purpose. Look at the way that line went. That's the gutter effect because it's got two sides to it. It's not just going down a mountain. There's actually this weird scored line going around this. They cut that crevice out for some reason. And then when you look at it, you can see the other lines that were created to partition it or segment it off. Not sure what went down there. Who created these straight lines? Look at that. You can tell me that that's just and that's a natural. It's a natural thing. Look at that. Natural. It does the same thing. You've got a 90-degree angle here. That's pretty much 90 degrees. And then you've got like a little shortcut angle. And they're both cut into the dirt. But come on, that's a perfect 90-degree angle. So it's kind of different from what most of these lines look like, which are rather sloppy. It's actually perfect work. And that's not the only one. You see that there's more than one of these. That's one of them. I can show you the other one. But I don't want to lose my place. I want to go north of here because I never get very far when I'm looking at this because I always find something really interesting way down south. I always work from the south up. So I just saw this. That's interesting. What's up here? How'd you like to live on top of that plateau, on the top of that mountain there? Somebody's doing farming. Look at that. It's very artistic looking. One straight line, fine, but when they're all straight lines, look at this one. Another one. You got a 90-degree angle. And then you've got some type of a cutout, like a dugout. That's right up against one of the lines and makes part of the mountain disappear. It's not the only example. This looks like there's two lines there. One line here, cutting in, and one line there. And this line is a little bit lighter, more mountain-like spinal. The other one's more of a gutter, and it goes right up against the edge of the mountains. This is why I don't understand. This is like a 30 feet wide gap. You see them everywhere. This is only 15. This one's a little bit thinner. 15 is about the thinnest I've seen. And look at that. It goes right over to the other side, and you got another X, another cross. So where's the 90-degree angle? Here. Right on the top. Pretty much there. And there was just another one. Here's more. And see, that looks like that cross right there, that's reminiscent of something I've seen in Mauritania. We can keep going up. We can find more. Let's look over here real quick. I can see some lines like that doing the same thing. It's like, why are those lines like that? Over here. There's more. Look at that. Oh, it's perfectly natural. Just going right across the mountains. Cutting right across in a straight line. Look at this one. Did we see this one already? See, now this one is kind of different. I guess maybe we can say that these were dams sometimes. And maybe this was a dam that was washed away. But how come it's cutting through the rock? And why does it keep going? Cuts through this rock. It cuts through this right to there. And then finally, I don't think we see it anymore. And then right up below it, we have this structure. And you're going to tell me that this is... Okay, so maybe I've been seeing these lines. Maybe they're not mountains. Maybe they're rocks that have worn away. But you look, you see this line right on top of it. And it's like a 90-degree turn. What? Okay, give me a mountain that turns 90 degrees. And okay, you want to say that's not 90 degrees? Fine. It's 85 degrees. What kind of mountain turns 85 degrees? This is a geological structure. Geology? Yeah. It's just, to me, that right there, you just don't see that normally. But then you've got this weird, that looks natural. But I'm not tricked when you've got this perfect turn in a mountain. And that, by the way, goes straight for miles and miles. Somebody was moving mountains. Someone was moving mountains. There's that. Come on, another line. It's like, oh, it could be natural. You're seeing things. It's an optical illusion. It's definitely some bizarre stuff that's going on here. I haven't looked up here much, so this is all kind of new. I know, I barely get it very far. Whoops. This all looks okay. Natural plateaus. Some of these plateaus look pretty high. I mean, if I hover here, this is 1797 meters. If I hover down here, it's 1647. So that's 150 meters different. No, this is 1800. 1800, and then down here is 1650. So this mountain is 150 meters high. And yes, you can see the line right there. So maybe these structures were built up against the mountains. But it seems to me that they have some type of a issue. They have some type... Look, here's another one. Oh, it's perfectly natural. Oh, yeah, natural. That's perfectly natural. And that's me being sarcastic. Because in my opinion, these X's, these crosses, now they're not north-south. They're not pointing north or south. I think they're industrially made. And that's why I think that could have been a mining exercise. Here's somebody burning a fire. Why is there a fire? Is that a cloud or a fire? I guess it's a cloud. And then you see this line going through there. Oh, those are just natural striations. That's not natural. Look at that. Why is half of this plateau missing like this? I don't know what came first anymore. And look, there's more. It just keeps going straight right there. And then up here you see more. I'm looking at little stuff like this. Was this whole place full? Look at this one. Was this whole place full? That line goes all the way up here. You got the skinny Spinal Mountain. Goes on and on. It covers up this. Okay, so here, that's an interesting one. You've got the opposite of an embankment. This is an embankment. And you've got the mountain just kind of dissecting it. And look over here, parallel. You've got this line going across there. And cutting this mountain open. It's cutting right through there. Oh, this must have been after the fact. It's perfectly natural for a mountain to get cut in half. Where's the other half? Are you falling in love with geology? No, these are definitely 90-degree angles. You can't explain these away. Yeah, I do want to confront a geologist about this. That's why I'm putting it on here. Look at that. You've got these parallel lines, and they're all, like I said, crossing over. And what is natural? That's a natural embankment right there. But then you've got the Spinal Mountain that's unnatural, creating little gutters. Oh, you got to take a closer look, my friend. You have to take a closer look. And my advice is take a few shots of bourbon before you do. Yeah, definitely still interested in getting in touch with local people there, but I'm going to go there. But I'm not going to be able to prove anything. This Google Earth, this is the closest I'm going to get to most of this stuff. And think about it as a person in a wheelchair. Are you going to point the finger at them and tell them they got to go there themselves? They can work through others. So look at that thing. It goes right across this natural structure. And it's just like, oh, we're going to... And there's a parallel one right next to it. Oh, yeah, here. You want the parallel lines, Ethan, up here in Mauritania? Because I don't know if you knew about those. I'll show you right here. You got this and this perfectly parallel, 20 kilometers long. I know some of it looks a little roughed up, but some of it's a nice, clean, straight line. And it's going for 20 kilometers. Now, that's a breach, so get past that. It gets back straight again. I mean, from point A, if you know what we got to do is we got to take these points because it disappears about here. Like, I'm assuming that it's just a big old... I don't know. You know what? Here's my big question. Was 9/11 an inside job? Was 9/11 an inside job? Answer me that. This one right here, same perfect direction. Like it was a previous... I mean, look at that thing. It's a nice canal going the same direction, perfectly parallel for 20 kilometers. So wide. It's not like it's a little skinny thing either. Yeah, you don't have to tell me nature is beautiful. That's not the issue at hand here. There's no argument about nature being beautiful. I'm arguing that that's not nature right there. That's not nature. Nature hasn't explained it. Or sorry, science hasn't explained it good enough yet. Nature is beautiful. Yeah, that's not natural. That line is not natural. And, you know, the ones that have the 90-degree... Okay, so we're actually at the top of Lesotho here. So we've kind of gone through a lot of these structures already. I mean, I've never even really gotten this far. You see this line here. This is what I'm talking about, Ethan. It's too straight. It's too straight. Look at that. That's interesting right there. What's that? Nice circle. There's another one. There's another one. It's these little circles of trees up there. Probably some type of a Anunnaki landing site. 100%. I just want to know if you think it's an inside job or not. I don't want to have to... I just... this is the thing. 9/11 is not something I talk about on my channel very often. So... So I didn't really want to say it, but it's really the big question I have. Some beautiful plateaus. This is all natural. I'm not saying any of this is unnatural that I'm looking at. And by the way, when I say unnatural, I don't mean let Anunnaki, since I know you're here, Ethan, that Anunnaki aliens did it. I never said that. That's a nice little mound, right? I like that. I wonder why it's all blurred out. Probably the Anunnaki landing site. No, I never said, oh, it's Anunnaki gold mine for sure. You listen to what I said. I said, could it be? I asked the question. And I do that because I've been seeing enough of these. I'm still waiting for the gold mines to show up. The ones that Michael Tellinger was talking about. Because I thought I was going to find a lot more. So, I'm skeptical too. It's a bird. That's 100% a bird right there. That's a bird. No, that's a nose. That's a nose and those are eyes. See? Anunnaki. That's Anunnaki. Look. You can see it. They painted 2 eyes and a nose. And obviously the mouth goes here. But they washed away. It's an ancient face. I got to reread all that. I got to check that in a second. I was actually just going to try to get around the top end of Lesotho here. That is the Superman. That's got an S in it for sure. That's like where Superman got his logo from. There's a lot of stuff going on up there. Look at that. Oh, look at that there. There's my line though. See? Man didn't make that. And when I've got several attributes, Ethan, that you see again and again and again. You can't just say these attributes are all natural when they all are parallel and looking the same, exact places. This little gutter that you see here, yeah, I don't know. That's still natural. I like that nose though. But these straight lines that are going, look at that one right here. These straight lines that cut through these mountains, so far all natural. Way above it now. Let's look at this thing. I was kind of curious about this before and I didn't go in. So see, I get away from, I don't see as much of the lines up here. And I'm still looking for those damn gold mines. We got to look one up and see if we can find any nearby it. And when I say those gold mines, I'm talking about the circles that Michael Tellinger brought up and brought to my attention. He claims there's so many. Oh, here, look. I found one. And that's way up here. It's way up here. So up here, north of Lesotho, you've got this one rock. And it's got the cross. It's got the lines going across it there. Right straight through the rock. You don't see that everywhere. Show me what caused that. No, 90-degree angles. What about the 90-degree angles? Look at this. This is a nice perfect angle here. It's not 90 degrees, but it is that same. You see this same triangle that I showed you. This same triangle exists over there at this other triangle. Why do we have that same shape triangle? It's right here. It's way down here. Oh, I don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose it. I'll show you later. It's just like this triangle. The one I'm seeing here. There's a line right there. Look. I can rotate it so you can see the angles that I'm talking about. Okay, there's this line that's going across this mountain structure here. And then you've got these 2 lines here and here. That's the same triangle that I showed. It's the same shape. And yeah, I know that kind of looks natural, but there's a line going through the whole mountain in there. Now, these are all natural lines. That one's questionable, but I'm not going to go mad. That one's kind of questionable, but no, that's probably could be natural as well. But over here, what you see happening here, no, that looks like some type of machining. Let's call it machining. Ancient machining, because whether or not it's like humans with tools or whether it's people on machines, they use the machining process on the mountain. I've already demonstrated live on TV. Look at that one. That's nice. Let's look at that under 3D. Now, I'm not saying that's man-made. I'm just saying that's nice. I do see that one line right there. It's like, why do these mountains all have 90-degree spines? Landing pad. Yeah, erosion's a good word. But the erosion still could be created by man. Erosion doesn't always have to be natural. Look at that right there. You've got a 90-degree angle right there. It's another example. This is another example of this whole crevice thing. Where they have this little dugout inside a 90-degree angle in the mountain. Here, I'll go zoom it like this. Now, that's not perfect. I'm not saying that's perfect, but I am seeing this line go this way across this mountain. Look at that line. Okay, it has this crevice carved out of it. It goes across here. It keeps going straight. You can see that line. It's going down the ridge. I'm not saying that's natural there. I think that's not. And it keeps going straight, and it kind of curves a little bit. Oh, that's interesting, though. I like stuff like that. I know that's kind of lame, but you can see that line. And going back, you see it go across here, and then you see half the mountain missing, like some type of activity. I don't know what activity, but I call it the dugout activity, where they kind of cut out a 90-degree angle, because you see that line going this way, and you see that line going this way. Is it perfectly 90 degrees? No. So maybe I should say within 80 to 110 degrees. And they get in there, and they carve all that stuff out. They're mining it, man. That's a mine right there. Ancient mine. And it's giant. It's giant. I mean, if you can measure it, let's measure the width of this mine. That is 1.2 kilometers right there. So what happened to all this stuff in there? And why is there the 90-degree attribute to it? I actually want to keep looking in this area now. You know, I definitely feel paranoid. Yeah, I see a line like that. I'm like, oh, that's another one. But I see these things, and they just don't add up. Look at that. Look at those lines there. Look at that line right there. Straight lines in the middle of nowhere. Going like that. Straight line. That's a straight line. You know, I want to call it like the Plateau Mountain, because I sometimes think they put it right on top of existing stuff. And look, it goes right down, and it cuts right through the rock, like the natural rock. So you're saying that was all pre-existing softer tissue, and they're in these deliberate straight lines? That's just too straight. And then you get them everywhere you look. You can back out and you can see 1, 2, 3. This one over here. Look at that. That's just a natural angle. Perfect angle. You know, you said angle, right? I'm looking at you said angles. But these angles are, yeah, fine. I'm great at finding patterns, but when you talk about a wall that was built across a natural structure that's so clear, and also at an angle, a 90-degree angle. Look at that angle. Look at that. You're telling me that that's just natural? Look, it even goes up where people actually follow it naturally. So, you know, that's the argument for that's modern day right there, because you see this modern day line that follows it. Actually, that's that weird dark stuff they did. I can find another example of that dark stuff. What is that stuff? They did it up in the mountains, and there's these natural mountains on top of those too. I'm sorry, the Spinal Mountain. I gotta get my terminology straight. Yeah, I definitely know natural. And no, I don't have a geologist degree, but I'll tell you what. Let's look at this color. What is that? That's actually the same color as that stuff, that weird charcoal color. So dark. But that's not relevant. I think there's a different... Oh, you know what? That's got to be... Look at that, though. Look at that. They covered that one up on purpose. Another perfect X on top of a mountain. Ethan, How do you describe that? How do you explain this? Is that a fence line? I don't know. I never had perfectly square mountains when I was growing up, especially ones that are cutting through existing platforms. Look at that. You're going to tell me that's perfectly... That's not deliberate? It's a 90 degree. That's a totally perpendicular right there. Yeah, it needs to be rotated, but that's totally perpendicular. And by the way, I'm not saying that it has to be perpendicular. It seems to me like the stuff we're looking at, some type of industrial work that's been done. Like, this is doing the same thing, though. It's like bisecting the mountain perpendicularly. You don't find that just everywhere. Look at that. There's another one right there. Same direction. See, I adjusted the angle. Now, how many of these mountains are going to go straight across my screen? Showing a nice horizontal direction. Look at that one. Oh, did we look at that already? We looked at those already. I feel like we did. Now, these lines don't add up. Because if they're old, then why do they go across these natural crevices? I'm trying to read what you're writing, Ethan. You can try to convince me that I can see patterns, but I'm talking about attributes that are repetitive. And once I start adding them up and putting them on a list, you're not going to be able to deny that that is a natural versus an unnatural structure. Look at that. It's all in one single direction, and then it cuts through the rock right there. What's going on? Why does it do that? Okay, so here's a transition point. Spinal Mountain cuts through the rock. Why does it do that? That's my question for a geologist right there. Give me that. Why does this natural line cover up what's... Sorry, I'm not clear. Why does this straight line go right across what is a clearly natural and cuts it off? And I've been painting for a long time, and if you put a line like that on your painting, it totally ruins any effect of it being natural. It goes on and on, right? It goes on and on. And I'm not against it being a pre-existing ribbon of softer rock. But how can a ribbon of soft rock that disappears between hard bedrock turn into the spine of a mountain? How can it do it? Well, no, I'm not giving significance to them. I'm trying to find... Look at their parallel lines. These are parallel lines. And that's a 90-degree point again. I mean, when I say 90, it's not perfect, but like an intersection. I'm going to start using that word, intersection. Because, yeah, and sometimes the ones that are actually going north-south could be flawed by Google's satellite position. Oh, I gotta keep moving. So that was very interesting. I almost want to put that right there into my... That's a good one. Where's the blue line? Let's find the blue line around here. See if we can get any photographs of this. Let's go look. So where were we here? We were just here. Camp Skirlip. We're way over. Oh, you know what? I got to go back in and then turn this. No, you just see too many of these angled intersective mountains. Mountains don't go in straight lines. How many mountains do you know that go in straight lines like that? A straight spine on the top, along the top of the mountain. Let's go along it. Let's take a look, because you can see it again and again and again. And I grew up around desert mountains, so I've walked across the tops of plenty of them. I never saw one that has a straight line like that. It looks like a road. Look at that. You can see it's been breached there. But other than that, it's a perfectly straight line. Okay? It's a perfectly straight line right there. And then you've got this other line that intersects it here that's going perfectly straight in a different direction. Now that, I call that a fence line, and maybe this line's a fence line too. Maybe, yeah, because I kind of decided this is natural. This is made by man. But if it's made by man, why is it going across this river like that, this mountain? Why is it crossing this mountain if it's made by man? Why is it crossing so perfectly? Okay, I can say that's modern day right there. That's a modern day line. I don't have a problem with that. But when you give me these mountains, I'd like to know how those are modern day anything. What kind of modern day structure is created by people? But yet, I showed you that it's going across in a damming fashion to dam. Okay, we looked at that already. Is that the same one? It must be. So I think I can find that again. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to point this thing north again. But I did it. That's why I didn't recognize it. You've got these mountains with ridges. I've never seen a mountain with a skull and crossbones ridges on the top like that. 90-degree angles. South Africa is a big place. And to be honest, if you look at that, we can still go north almost. Or we could probably go, like, if we put a line there, we can still go north. So far, it's very big. So I'm kind of looking for Michael Tellinger's circular gold mines, but I haven't seen any of them. But then we've got these other mountains that are eaten away. The dugouts. I'm going to say the dugouts from now on. Let's go in here. Look at that. That looks like a straight line. Yeah, see, this is downtown area. And modern day man messes up those things. First of all, that's not the way you spell damn. You kind of sound like you're mad. However, I disagree. And by the way, that thing could have gotten filled in. They could have filled it in on purpose. That little thing wasn't that big. It was only 20 feet high. It could have been made by men. But the thing is that it looks just like these other mountains that I'm showing you. And it's got the little spine going across the top. I mean, who's putting these spines there? Modern day people? Ancient people? No, this is definitely what the things I'm showing you is definitely. Look, this is Johannesburg right there. See, I never even realized it's right there. I always think of Johannesburg as being down by the ocean. So we've got Cape Town down here. And another big town, George, Port Elizabeth, all these ports. East London, great. And then up here, Durban. See, I heard of that so many times, but I never realized it was right there. Durban. You look how beautifully that's laid out right there. It looks like Disneyland with the way they did it. Yeah, I definitely want to go to South Africa. I just don't want to get myself killed. At least if I go, I'm not going to... Well, I don't know. Maybe I will. I didn't want to say something that sounded racist. I did not want to sound racist. So it's my connection in South Africa. I haven't talked to him in a long time. It's been a while. See, I see these plateaus, so I want to go into those. That's what I say. Look at the plateaus. In a minute, I'm going to look up that one thing that Michael Tellinger kept talking about. Now, let's do it in a new window. Then I'll probably get close to this being over. I was actually, I could probably keep looking, but it's about 5 o'clock. I'm going to be doing a sub job, so I got to head over to somebody's school. I've never been there before. Okay, what am I looking for? Okay, I'm going to search it. Let's search Adam's calendar. Let me try that again. So Adam's calendar was this thing, and they keep showing this. And if you look at this, that's not the map, though. If you keep seeing the map. Let me try it without the search. No, that won't work. Let's get out of maps. Okay, let's kill that and try it again. Adam's calendar map. Ancient sites around Adam's calendar. Okay, that sounds like a deal right there. Let's check that one out. Adam's calendar. Let's try. I think I'm done. I think this is over. Let's see what's going on here. Stop streaming, start recording. It says there's a problem with my connection, but I don't know. Let's take a look at this. Excellent connection. Are you, Ethan, are you still there? I'm going to, I think I almost lost my connection or something. I don't know what happened. But it says I have an excellent connection now. I wanted to see this. This was actually interesting to me. There we go. So it's all up north of Eswatini. And that's where I found... See, the thing is that somebody's not... You know what? About the con artist thing. I think he's being a con artist when it comes to his findings. Yeah. But at the same time, I am very, very curious, more than just about his findings, about some of this ancient machining that I've been hearing more and more about. Yeah, you say con artist, but remember, it's not the label that you showed me online. I think that there's definitely these sites, and dating them is one thing. Let's just zoom into one of these. Okay, so here we go. We're starting to see it now. These so-called gold mines. I'm sorry, gold. Yeah, gold. We call them. He called them gold mines. You see a bunch of them up here. These circles. Yeah, this is what I think I found the mother lode right here. This map was created by a user. I'm going to save this. I'm going to put it underneath my ancient history because this is real history right now. So am I even still live anymore? I felt like the stream was over. But it seems like it's all going well here. Hello, hello. I guess I can check one other way. Oops. I can check one other way. Pseudo-archaeologist. That's me. I think I'm a pseudo-archaeologist, aren't I? I gotta find... I mean, I just want facts. I don't want to get judged because I have an MBA instead of having the old where's my... Sorry, I'm trying to find out if everything's still live, but it seems like it is. Okay, so here we are at google.com. I searched, I better show you my search, Adam's calendar map, and it gave me this maps.google.com, ancient sites around Adam's calendar. I'm just getting started down here. You know, I've spent 2 years looking at the richat structure. I mean, we can talk about that all day long because I've been already documented so many things about it that it's not a problem. But down here in South Africa or Southern Africa is what I meant to try to correct. I'm not very familiar with it. Apparently they have mountains that have perfect 90-degree crosses across the top of them. You know, that seems to be the thing down there. Maybe we can find some more of these other mountains in this neighborhood. See, that's what I was trying to see, is any correlation between these so-called gold mine sites that, I don't know if you can say they were all found by Michael Tellinger, but he seems to have... See, what I want to see is if the gold mines are located next to any of these other lines. I mean, okay, they're circular structures. If you don't want to call them Anunnaki gold mines, call them circular structures. There's a whole bunch over here. So I definitely want to keep this. I saved that. Wait, I thought I saved this. I just thought I saved this. Done. I guess I'm not saving the map itself. You know what? Let me just share this. And I'll save it because I got to end this video pretty soon. And then now that I realize I'm subbing, maybe I shouldn't have been drinking that bourbon. All right, here we go. Post. Yeah, I better go drink some soup. All right, well, I saved this here, and I want to check that out. It's kind of interesting. Definitely a lot of sites here that I've never seen before. Let's check out this one. So here's another one of these things. So is telling her. Well, okay, I'm just referring to these structures. Are you saying these structures don't exist? Some of these have some hex. Yeah, I won't get too into it. Yeah, I better sober up before I go to work. I don't know how old these kids are that I'm teaching. If they're high school, they can handle it, right? I'm just kidding. Let's see here. Oh, there's some circles. Yeah. See, it's just kind of weird when you see some of them connected and some of them are like far apart. Oh, hey, we got our line. Look at that. Look at that line right there. Do you have any other lines? I don't know what that is. That looks like a helicopter landing pad right there. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's a agricultural, irrigation circle. So this is a total of 5, and I have visited 3 so far. Let's visit here, and then we'll be done with this. Yeah, there sure are a lot of these circles now up here. Looks like someone's living in that one. Oh, look what we found here. Look what we found. Boom. Right there by the gold mines. Yeah, I don't see how you're going to show that that was made in the last 1,000 years. You've got them going all over. You're trying to say that that was cut in some natural occurrence right there. Look at that. There's a small one right there. It goes right through there. It's right by the gold mines. Obviously, they were roads. Leading straight to the gold mine. Got another notch there. So they were like running around with their little wheelbarrows, making 30-meter wide notches. You can see this line here. It goes, you know, because it fills with trees, but then it goes across the mountains and creates the so-called gutter. It's a nice one. Yeah, you got a lot of that stuff going on here. Look at that one. Did we see this one already? I feel like we saw that one already. Yeah, this one definitely has the guttural roads. These little things that cut through the rock, I don't see people doing that. I see machines doing that. I don't see people cutting through rock. I mean, there's just too much of it. Yet, we always see the same attributes around these mountains. Now, this is pretty far north compared to where I've been looking before. I was looking down here. So it seems like you see that same weird guttural. I want to know what causes that. I want to know the geological cause for it. Let me check my time. See what time I have to be. Oh, yeah, 2 hours. Yeah, I got a lot of time. I got plenty of time. But at the same time, I've already been talking for an hour here. Let's just go back to Google Earth and see if we can find anything more. Kind of curious. So we found stuff along here. I wonder if I can go in this little area right here and find something. The lines, the attributes I'm talking about. Seems pretty bare. It's totally different out here. Less water. That's interesting. Look at that. What caused that discoloration there? Nothing out here. I don't see any plateaus. Oh, look at that. Man-made mountains. Look at those. For sure man-made. %. Look at that. Let's zoom in there with the 3D. Check those out. Look at that. They've all got the spines on them. Yeah, you keep mentioning that about humans being pattern recognizing machines. But I can tell you right now, this mountain right here, that's not a normal mountain. Look at that. That's like the plain Jane of mountains. That right there is a human created, or I don't want to say human, I want to say a artificially created mountain right there. Look at that. Somebody was going crazy with the mountain machine over here. They're like just spitting out mountains left and right. No, I already said I misspoke. I said created. Look at that. That one really looks like these mountains I've been talking about. No, I'm not going to say that these are all man-made, or I should say, what was the word I used? That one does look like them, though. But these other ones, why would they do that? And I honestly have no explanation as for why they do that. Why they did any of the stuff we talked about. I can't even see the ocean now. Oh, we're upside down. Okay, that's why. I was looking for the ocean when I was upside down. But, I mean, let's just go back to Lesotho before we end this thing, because I just want to just say one more time. These lines that make an intersection along the top of a cliff that's eaten away and dug out and gets these... This is just not something that happens normally. You don't just see guttural... I mean, this is ancient stuff. And if it's not unnatural... If it's not natural... Sorry, wait. If I'm wrong, then what created those? I want to know. Because it's 90 degrees. What created that? I want to know the whole story. Look at that. You got parallel lines here and here. You got this weird angle. And by the way, there's the triangle that I was talking about earlier. They make this triangle on top of the mountain. You're telling me that that's a natural thing? Look at it. That's natural? I mean, I would say people could have done that, but I don't think people can do this and cut through these rocks unless they're actually working it. And this, let's measure that one more time. That's 40 feet across. You don't have straight lines like this in nature. This is also basically the storytelling bullet. And it just goes bigger and bigger and bigger. You're talking a structure that's, how many is that? That's 10? No, that's only 4 kilometers across. But we can go farther out to this part of it and measure that and say 7 kilometers. And we're talking about colossal megalithic structures. And they're ancient. No, they haven't been done the last 1,000 years. A lot of this stuff's decayed like it's been sitting around for 10,000 years, if not more. Alrighty. I will say goodbye at this time. Thank you very much. I've got to get my clothes on. As you can see from this structure alone, somebody, how much is this? This is 1 kilometer across. You've got this triangle. Yeah, it's not a perfect triangle. You've got a triangle deliberately placed over this mountain structure like it's some type of a grid where they're designating parts of the land to be mined out or moved or cut out. It's just an atrocious... It's not beautiful, so I think it's totally industrial. I think this supports it more than the so-called gold mine circles I just showed you. Thank you very much. Gotta find my mouse. Oh, it's over here. Bye-bye.